This week's Cringe of the Week is up there as one of my favorites. The first clip we're going to show is the drag king preschool teacher.
What is drag king? That means they dress up. It's a woman who dresses up as a man,
I think so.
puts on a fake beard and goes around, gets off on that.
I guess, yeah.
All right.
So because I've been getting this question a lot lately, I am going to use this space to answer it. And that is, as a preschool teacher, a drag king, and as a member of the LGBTQ community, how do I feel about the new legislations for like the Don't Say Gay bill or the reporting of transgender kids? And while I don't see things like that too much in preschool, my opinion on it is that I don't care what the government tells me to do. I am going to do what I think is best for the health and safety, and that includes mental health and safety and emotional health and safety of my kids. I will never let any child come through my classroom feeling unloved or ashamed for who they are.
So my kids, once again, which is the theme, it's my kids. This woman, for some reason, thinks she's able to talk about health with the kids. You can join me, lady, in the too fat to talk about health topics with people.
Yeah,
I'm there too. It's not a big deal. Let's not go to her for health tips. Number one. Number two, who are you plotting against? You're basically saying, hey, if my kids are trans, you're talking about preschoolers, they have a safe place, and I'm not going to let them, be who they're not or pressured to be someone they're not. Who are you plotting against? Imagine if you had a kid who was maybe a little confused and like how, understandably, look how the world is now. You have a kid who's a little bit confused and they go to that teacher and that teacher is basically plotting with the kid against who? The parents.
The parents and the school system and all the rules and stuff that you're supposed to be teaching,
People,
I guess?
Yeah, exactly. People who would be trying to instill some norms, boys and girls, boy and a girl have a baby, like the very basic things. These people are plotting against those who have those basic virtues and values. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, hey, if the kid's a little weird, they can confide in me and I can make them comfortable in their weirdness when maybe the parents didn't really want that approach or really weren't hoping for that. So this is why I believe 100% there should be cameras in public schools.
Yeah.
Easily. Let's start there.
I'm starting to really a live stream that a parent could just tune into,
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and Cernovich made a really good point. When he was growing up, he said for teachers, for whether they're married or what their personal lives are, all you really knew about it was Miss, Mrs., or Ms. Miss is you're not married. Mrs. is you're married. Ms. is something happened.
Ms. was like a miserable bitch who doesn't want you to know what happened.
Something happened, or you didn't get married, but you're old, whatever it may be. Ben Geller made actually a really good tweet about this. He says, perhaps the most disturbing cultural trend I've seen in the last 5 years is the destruction of childhood innocence in the attempt to validate adults.
And that's, I think, what we have going on here in a nutshell, because this woman who's a drag king and part of the LGBT community gets no play, gets no action. She's a fat, disgusting swamp creature,
Fair.
Fucked up teeth, mouth breather, like really wet mouth breather. Can't really do anything. This person has no one close to them. I'm assuming not very many relationships, not very many friends. And so it becomes this my children, my class, and this disgusting woman wants to live vicariously through those kids. And so she wants all those kids to be tolerant of some monster like her. And if you get to them early enough, they probably will.
Exactly. Like you teach them the things that you think people aren't tolerant of when what you want them to be tolerant of is nothing that you should be proud of.
Yeah.
And now you teach them this new fundamental thing about, oh, this is all the same. This is all equal. This is all normal. And then they grow up very confused. And this person is basically looking at these kids as her peers.
Exactly.
Which is the problem.
Exactly.
It used to be a one-way street. The teacher comes to school, teaches the kids receive the teaching, they learn, they absorb the knowledge, they move on. Now it's a two-way go where basically these teachers are seeing the kids as their peers.
They're friends. They're little buddies. They're my little kids. They're my kids.
They're her kids. And it's like, if they're your kids, my kids, what does that mean? That people who are against them, they're against your kids. And it's like, you're talking about their parents, probably, the people who are against you. So the teams, the way they're drawing these teams is very troubling. And we've actually seen, remember we had this video, we're going to play it real quick, months ago.
Yeah, this was months and months ago.
In Culture, the San Francisco gay choir or whatever, were singing "We're Coming for Your Kids," and everyone kind of ignored it and didn't think it was a serious thing, but it makes a lot of sense now. Listen to this.
We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep them from disco, warn about San Francisco, make him wear pleated pants, we don't care.
It's so funny.
We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair. We're coming for them. We're coming for your children.
We're coming for them. We probably should have listened.
Yeah, I actually did.
I listened to. We knew the whole time.
And then if I remember correctly, there were a few members of this big Zoom call chorus who were registered sex offenders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
always.
So the registered sex offenders are coming for your kids. They're going to make them tolerant. You won't notice it. Let us have private sex discussions with your kids.
It'll be subtly and little by little.
Yeah.
But they're literally singing, "We're coming for your children." So basically, this LGBT confusion nonsense is obviously well beyond mainstream now. California is paying trans people monthly stipends, basically. If you identify as trans, you can get up to $900 a month in California. They're paying people to be trans. That'll take about a third of the street rat people. They'll just absorb them into the LGBT. So it's all these street rat people that are kind of skinny and weird and want money. They'll be like, yeah, I'm trans. And now you're going to have some stat where it's California is the #1 population of LGBT trans people and all this stuff. And they're probably going to get more money from the government for it or something. It's definitely a scam to launder money. But they are trying to make it so trans people get paid $900 a month because they're trans.
Yeah, which is insane and obviously rife for abuse. You can be a dude who's like, yeah, I'm a lady, and just show up and collect your money.
Collect your money.
And so one of the things that I immediately thought about is, did anybody campaign on this? Did anybody run on this? Or is this just some hyper-progressive thing that you do once you're in office, kind of against half the population, I can't imagine this California town is 100% in on trans. We need to do it. Mobs of people at city council and stuff. So again, this is one of those things where progressives get in, do whatever the fuck they want. And who's the bag holder? The taxpayer, you, your family. And it's just kind of insane. Who would even say this out loud? And now it's just an experiment happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Transgenders getting universal basic income. And then there's the truck driver who's for the city, I haven't gotten a raise in 6 years. Or the garbage man who's what? What? I don't have a 401k.
Yeah, exactly. And remember when it used to be we need tolerance for the LGBT. We need tolerance. All we want to do is be tolerated, as if it was they were so shunned in society. It's interesting because are they tolerant of us? Are our views that outrageous where they shouldn't be tolerated? We believe there's two genders. We believe we shouldn't sexualize the kids. We believe we shouldn't be forced to get a vaccine. We shouldn't have censorship, stuff like that.
Really easy, broad stuff.
Really easy, fundamental, liberty-based things, but that's not tolerated. But we need to be the tolerant ones. And they disguise it as that. Oh, we need to be tolerant of them. When it's actually celebrated.
We tolerated their degeneracy, and then now they don't. Now they're in charge or whatever, or at least have been the radical wing of the left, and now they don't tolerate our normal morals, beliefs, values. So we let the degenerates kind of start driving the bus, and now they're kicking us off.
Yeah, exactly. Let the degenerates start driving the bus, and we're all right, we go 50 miles an hour, and we stay in the right lane, and they're just yeah, whatever, lady. And we're in the back just getting thrown all over.
You hit a curb, you bounce, you hit the roof.
Exactly. So it's like it started out as tolerance, and it seems like an acceptable idea. Oh, we should tolerate people. We shouldn't hate people for what they do in their private lives. It's obviously the slippery slope.
Yeah.
And now it's past tolerance. Next would be acceptance. We're actually past that. Now it's celebration. So tolerance, acceptance, celebration.
Happened quick, too.
It happened very quick. And now we have to celebrate. So tolerance isn't enough. Acceptance isn't enough. We need to celebrate it to the point where we're teaching kids, hey, this is what normal is. It's a guy and a girl, or a guy and a guy, or a guy who thinks he's a girl and a girl, or a girl who thinks he's a guy and a guy, or two girls. And now that's just the new norm. And that's what they're leading with. It has to be celebrated and accepted. But if you have normal views, very basic things, man and a woman, two genders, stuff like that, that is not tolerated.
Yeah, of course it's not. And the celebration is what you're seeing in a lot of these Cringe of the Week teachers with like their classroom. You can pledge to the gay flag. Remember that, lady?
Of course.
You know, you can, we're celebrating you. We're doing a pride parade in Austin. Like,
yeah,
we're past acceptance and tolerance. They've skipped right to celebration, and they're better than the straight kids. They're more important.
And if you don't celebrate, you're not tolerant. So they just completely change the rules and they change the game, and it's very hard to keep up. And if you do keep up and participate, it's demonic. It's satanic. And that's why you have so many sex criminals, like at Disney. Check out this. Disney, we got like a little bit of a thread. All these people are arrested for doing sex crimes.
This is a thread from Christopher Rufo, who was the guy who also got all the leaked Disney Zoom videos.
Exactly.
So Christopher Rufo is doing some excellent reporting here.
Yep. Check out, just read a couple of them, what these people have been arrested for.
Disney character actor Patrick Holgerson was arrested for soliciting sex from undercover agents posing as a 13-year-old boy. I work with kids, he told police. I love kids, not in a bad way. I just have a strong connection with kids. So you flocked right to Disney, didn't you?
Yeah.
This guy posing as talked to undercover agents posing as a 14-year-old. I work for Disney, so I love to see dads having fun with their daughters, he said in the chat. I really enjoy giving oral. Okay, good job, buddy. Another man was arrested for 50 counts of possession of child pornography, including multiple scenes of nude, prepubescent children engaging in sexual activity with adults. Disney concierge Alan Treaster was arrested for soliciting sex from undercover agents posing as a 14-year-old boy. He admitted to chatting about performing oral sex on the boy.
So yeah, this is the examples of people who flock to Disney and feel safe in that environment, and it's how there's so many kids you're exposed to. It's very, very disturbing.
Yeah, it's like if you're a place that caters to kids, you have to play defense against these people because groomers, weird, fucked up sex criminals are attracted to those places. They need access to kids, and how else am I going to get it? I don't know any kids. I can't hang out at the playground. Boom, I'll go to Disney and just be a fucking creep.
Exactly. And there's so many situations like this. And it makes me wonder, for Disney, for someone that's a group that's so progressive now. Remember, they're making all the gay characters, doing a lesbian kiss in Buzz Lightyear. They're doing more gay LGBT leads, stuff like that. Shouldn't we knock down the gendered language? If you're Disney and you're so pro-LGBT, shouldn't we not be saying things like prince and princess? Isn't that gendered? Isn't a princess a girl? Isn't that kind of unfair?
If you can't say boys and girls, you shouldn't say prince and princess, right?
That's what I'm thinking. And we should basically just use these LGBT rules that they're following, where they choose to, and use them to destroy the rest of Disney.
Yeah, let's weaponize it against Disney. You can't say prince or princess.
No more prince and princess. Even the race we're animating. So if you're animating and you're choosing the race of the character, you probably shouldn't pick white. So maybe they should put a blur on the screen, and we should just downgrade Disney from these high-end cartoons to all right, you can't say prince and princess. So now we're at a silent film. Yeah. And then you can't do race. So let's just go black and white. So we'll just knock Disney down all the way to cartoons 100 years ago by following all these rules.
And so back to Cernovich, he's been hammering Disney. Obviously, I saw a bunch of tweets on him, and he made a good point. It's not hard to get off Disney. All you have to do is not show your kids the movies, and then they'll have no desire to go to Disney World, Yeah. So it's actually a very easy cutoff. And so I hope a lot of adults are doing that because...
Think about the vacation you can have. If you were going to spend, how much is it, $10,000?
Yeah, $10K.
$10K for a family of a bunch of kids and your parents to go to Disney. You can go to a lake. You can go to Montana like 5 times.
Yeah, you can rent a house for like a month.
Yeah, and do whatever you want, have a nice outdoor vacation, which I think is going to be what's happening. And it's a shame because Disney has a lot of good stories that are not being prioritized because they want all the old stories to be replaced with LGBT people and trans people and gay animals. And it's a shame because stories like the story of George Geef.
Who's that?
That's the real name of Goofy the dog.
No.
George Geef is the real name of Goofy the dog. I looked it up.
George Geef, he has a full name?
Yeah, George Geef. Goofy the dog, that's a great story. He's a single dad after that bitch wife of his left. It's about an 8'2" dog who's like a single dad raising his son. That's a nice story. We don't highlight Goofy
What was that,
anymore.
the Goofy movie?
Yeah.
I love the Goofy movie.
Yeah.
The pizza, the cheese whiz.
Yeah.
That's some
The
good
Goofy
stuff.
movie was good. But we don't highlight that anymore because it's about straight people and men and
Yeah, he was
strong
trying to
men.
impress a girl. He did the whole performance trying to impress a girl.
Yeah.
And his dad was there for him.
Yep. And you notice I said bitch wife left about the dad and bitch is the female dog.
Smart.
So I wasn't cursing.
You write that down? Is that on the paper?
It's somewhere. I wasn't cursing though. And yeah. So
I was.
8'2" dog, single dad, raising a nice straight kid who plays sports. They eat pizza. That story is not getting revived. We're going to replace it with lesbian Buzz Lightyear or whatever.
I can't get over George Geef.
George Geef. I was surprised too.
The fandom, they know.